Hello and welcome to the Harley J way. The Harley J way. Yay. I'm your host, Harley J.
So this is a very special episode because we have a guest on today. We're interviewing someone, and he is a filmmaker. He has, I think, 30,000 followers on Instagram, and he's pretty big. So you know what? Let's just introduce him. Please welcome the amazing Benjamin Brandon.
Hello. Thank you so much for that intro. That was great, man.
Thanks. How you doing?
All is well. I am forever busy in my world of creating content and creating commercials for clients and stuff, the day job.
I'm a little more on the films, movies type of side of filmmaking. Like I'm literally working on one short film and 3 feature films right now. My production company is working on it, and since I'm the head of it, it's just very hard. And I understand, and it's very crazy. But
yeah, maybe you can give me advice.
Yeah.
So you said you're working on 3 feature films. You're scripting
films.
right? You're scripting them right now.
One of them we just finished the first draft of. The other ones we're right now we're outlining the other ones.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, but it's really hard. But you know what? We get through it. Though my next question is, how long did it take you to get to like when did you start Instagram?
It's a good question. There's essentially 2 answers. The first one is the simple one, which is I took Instagram seriously probably about a year and a half ago. So let's call it 18 months. And at that time I had about maybe close to 1,500 followers, or I call friends on Instagram. I don't really like the term follower.
Yeah, I remember. See, it says it's. I remember it said 15,000. Sorry, 15. I remember when it said 15,000, and I remember when it said 1,500. But but when were you at 0? When were you at that 0?
Yeah, so I think I created an Instagram account about honestly, I created an Instagram account when it first came out, which was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I just used it like everyone else. It's what is this new thing? Because at the time it was all about Facebook, and I just I wasn't much of a social media person at the time. I was still in film school, so I was more focused on filmmaking and movies and television.
Yeah.
And I didn't it wasn't a big deal to me. It's funny because I was the person that I now try my best not to be, and that is the snobby filmmaker.
Yeah. And wait, where did you go to college? You said you went to film school.
Yeah, so I went to 2. I'm from Los Angeles, California originally. I currently
live in Los Angeles. I'm
Do you?
Yes, yeah. I literally live in the middle of 5 celebrities.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, what city?
Los Angeles.
Just Los Angeles proper. Oh, that's cool.
I have celebrity neighbors. Like Will Ferrell is my neighbor. This YouTuber CHC is my neighbor. I have a lot of big neighbors, and it's amazing.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, well, I've been looking through Instagram, and I just found your first ever post on Benjamin. Through Access Benjamin, and it's a post. The caption is, it has 18 likes, and the caption is Chinatown is hopping.
Oh man, I can't believe
this is it.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that's so funny.
That's the first ever post on the one you have right now. Second
what year was that?
I don't know. It says.
It should say, right? 2012. Okay, so there you go. That's when I started.
It shows that some people wrote comments in Spanish. Well, that's not the most surprising thing, but I see a lot.
Well, that's interesting.
Spanish on there.
I'm gonna look too.
You even wrote on Spanish for it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's been so long.
I do a comment in Spanish. The original thing is not Spanish, but yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Third post. This is an interesting third post. this is your third post.
Oh yeah, I went to visit the Netflix hub. That at the time that was still yeah, you're probably obviously you're too young to know this, but you've probably heard of it. Netflix started as like DVD
Yeah,
shipping.
no, of course, yeah, I yeah, but
Wait, I don't want to age you. I don't want to age
hey,
you. How old are you?
I'm 10. I turned 10 in January.
Okay, so that was before your time, but you're in the city of Hollywood, so
yeah, so I know a lot of people, and
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. Though you want to know when I when I started my Instagram account?
Absolutely.
When I was born. My mom made me an Instagram account when I was born. Not
That
kidding.
is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And I started posting for me for a long time, and now I've kind of transitioned into filmmaking for it, because like you actually, I don't think you can change your username on Instagram though, because when I was born, I was like, I love music. I literally like by 2 years old, I was singing all the time. So my Instagram username is Harley J Loves Music. But now it says that I'm a film director, and that's true. But I can't change the Harley J Loves Music, so that's a hard thing.
You can't? I mean, you have the ability to.
But most of the time, since so many people on Instagram are
oh right, yeah, it's just hard to get something approved.
Yeah, so it's really hard.
That makes more sense. Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's cool though. That's awesome. So you theoretically started before I did.
Yeah.
That's fun. Oh, right. So film school. I went to the Art Institute of Los Angeles, which I think now is called the Art Institute of Hollywood. And then I went to UCLA Film Academy, and yeah, I did classes. I did studies in directing and cinematography there. So that's how I learned composition and how to direct individuals and the art of script writing, which is what you're going through right now.
I actually went to NYU Tisch Film School of the Arts when I go to college.
You want to go to NYU?
Yeah, NYU. I've been looking for a long time. It's just where I want to go. But okay, I want to know, when did you start YouTube? Because I know you started YouTube before you probably started Instagram.
Yeah, I did. So YouTube happened for me in, I think, 2018. So it's going on. It'll be 3 years in December. And I was at the point in my life where I just wanted to do something new and exciting. I've gone through a lot. I went through like a bunch of health issues back in that time, and it was something that I wanted to mix it up. Right, I was just doing a bunch of editing at a boring job, and it was horrible. So
I showed you your first Instagram post. Now I'm gonna tell you your first YouTube post. I'm literally looking at it right now, and it's time to create a monologue, Benjamin Brandon. So
yep, that was the one. Oh man, that was the I'm gonna just do something create fun and see what happens with that. And with everything, any journey, you don't know what you really want to do. You just start, right?
Yeah.
And then you kind of figure it out.
Yeah. So for me, my first YouTube video was a short film called Virus in the Feet. And it was pretty good. That was my first YouTube video, not my first short film, but yeah, I think it's social media is amazing, right? Yeah, social media is amazing.
I agree, absolutely. It's a very good outlet to let off your creative juices, and I think that's why I started YouTube. And the journey of YouTube has been interesting for me because it went to just doing whatever, to vlogs, to videography tutorials, to one day stuff happened for me on Instagram with the release of IGTV, and I was like, whoa, all this growth is starting to happen. And I was creating vertical vlogs, which at the time was unheard of. There wasn't many people doing it. People just thought of vlogs like Casey Neistat and very YouTubey, right? So I just did the same thing, just reversed it in the aspect ratio. And IGTV started to blow up, and I was like, whoa. And I was like, I'm going to teach others how I did this. And, that's kind of where we're at today.
Yeah, it's good. It's very creative, and it's a good idea. And like, I'm not kidding when I say this. Every time I see a vertical film, like before you even created a vertical film, I automatically think of you because you're in my opinion you're kind of like you were one of the first people to do vertical vlogs, vertical videos, and it's a good thing. But my next question is, how has COVID-19 impacted your job? How has it impacted you?
It's a good question. So obviously COVID is it's important to talk about because it's a huge scenario in our lives right now. And for me, I would say professionally, with the business, I run a creative agency called Media to Social, and we make, Instagram ads and YouTube ads for local businesses. It actually blew up during the pandemic, which has been so amazing to see, and we're so blessed. We were just able to help small businesses struggling create some content for them and distribute it in the best way possible for people to know, hey, we're still open, or hey, we're doing things different. And we just kind of really tripled in business during the pandemic, which has been incredible. From a content creative perspective, it's actually been difficult for me. And that's me being honest with my boy, Harley J, because I've always relied on kind of like vlogtorial scenarios where I would go outside and I would, shoot and capture certain things and teach y'all along the way with me, on this experience. So it was like a tutorial in a vlog scenario. And I haven't been able to do that. Now in Texas, we're starting to get back to the way things were. For the most part, you still want to be careful. But yeah, it was interesting to see that I had to try to figure out how to be creative in the confinements of my home. Luckily, I'm fortunate enough to have an in-home studio, but it's not like, decked out with everything I want or need, because there's times where I need to go try to get to the office and try to get things and so on and so forth. But it's been a challenge.
Yeah, like for me, my family is right now working on redoing this whole entire house, except for this one except for my bedroom and my parents' bedroom, and the bathroom is upstairs. We're at the second floor to the bottom. We're turning the basement into the second floor. We're adding a home theater, a stage. Like,
oh wow, really?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty small, but and
that's awesome.
And since my dad actually had a production company that shut down, so basically that means all of their production gear, and so all their high quality cinema cameras, all of their tripods are now mine and my family's, and my dad has given them to me, so now I get to use them.
Oh, that's incredible, man! That's so fun.
Yeah, right now they're using them to shoot a documentary.
Yeah. What's your documentary on?
Well, it's not my documentary. It's my dad's documentary.
Oh, you said your dad's documentary. Got it. Okay. But you have gear that you can use. That's cool.
I do. And yeah, but for my dad, it's a pretty good documentary about that. You might have heard about the kickboxer. There was this kickboxer in the olden days who had a brother who was a criminal. I don't know if you know that.
That sounds that rings a bell.
It was like a famous kickboxer who fought Bruce Lee, and his brother was his manager, but secretly also a criminal.
Ooh.
And then the brother went to jail, and now he's out, so they're doing a documentary about it. But I can't. That's all I can really tell you about it.
Sure. Yeah. Of course. That's amazing, though. That sounds good.
It's a pretty good story. And they're almost done with interviews.
Yeah.
My next question is, what is your favorite place to shoot your videos, your short films, your whatever you're making?
Yeah. And I love that you're saying short films. It's been so long since I've been able to do one for myself.
I feel like the last time you made one, I remember I saw something about your film called Tracy.
That was the last one. That was the last one that did something, right? That was in like 2018, and I submitted it in a few festivals, and it did really well. It was all essentially trying to bring awareness to breast cancer, and I had a good friend of mine who was diagnosed, and one day she was telling me about the stream she had of just kind of like demons, being portrayed as the cancer, and how it's affecting her life. And she had a son, and who was actually your age, and it was just kind of affecting her in that. And something just went into my head, and I was like, we should do a short film about this. Like, let me write something.
Actually, my mom's friend has the exact same thing.
Wow. Yeah.
And And it's actually, in a way, it might seem like it's a bad thing, but for the people I know who have diseases, in a way, it's kind of feels like for them it would be a blessing to have it, because then they can spread awareness about that thing.
Yeah, I think with anything that's perceived as negative from the beginning, it could manifest into something positive. And that's exactly what we did with Tracy, and it did well. It was second place at the LA International Film Festival. And the funnest part about that film was it was entirely shot on iPhones.
Really? I did not know that part.
100% on iPhones. Yeah.
My iPhones. It was before my camera, because a long time ago when I started making films, by accident the SD card reader completely broke, and so that means we couldn't shoot on the camera anymore, because since the camera, the cord that because like some cameras actually have a cord that plugs into it, so you don't have to use an SD card reader. Since that also broke, so we could only use iPhones, so we had to just do everything we could with iPhones, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible the things you can do with phones nowadays. I think now I've always been very much, I'm just gonna, use my camera because everything is just faster for me. You would think the phone is faster, but not necessarily for me in my case, because the look is different. I think the higher contrast in phone capturing data bits and all that fun stuff, it's not the greatest. But what I'm trying to do now is take that challenge like I did in 2018 with Tracy and start shooting more on my phone to make it look like a camera.
And I actually heard that I'm pretty sure the iPhone 12 Max has a Dolby Vision camera.
Yeah, it
So I think that's the best phone to have right now if you're shooting films.
Yeah, there is something new. I have the iPhone 11 Pro Max, right? So the last one.
I had the 6S. That's what I
have. The 6S? The Tracy film was shot on a 6S.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, the worst phone it's the worst phone ever.
It was not easy to capture that. Yeah, we had a iPhone 6S, and then we did have an iPhone 7 as well. But those were the new ones at the time.
Yeah. But you said that Tracy won some awards, right? Yeah, you won some awards at film festivals.
What's that?
Tracy won some awards at film festival, right?
Yes. So it won at the Austin Film Festival, locally here.
Which is cool.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I actually run a film festival.
You run a film festival?
I run two. One for since my production company has a lot of films each year. At the beginning of each year, we do like a film festival. It's kind of like the Oscars, but for my production company's films. And then I also but you can only enter if you give my company the rights to your film.
Okay.
So it's a crazy thing, but we don't usually get too many entries for that. So I kind of started my own film festival that it's called Kids Film Big.
Oh, wow.
It's a fun film festival for anyone who's under 18 who made a film.
I love that. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a pretty good thing. I can't show them to you, but I have the winners right here in the
Ooh.
But yeah, but it's a pretty amazing thing, and it's like it enables kids to be able to create. And
yeah, that's amazing, man. Congratulations. I think it's great that you are, you're empowering your generation on what's to come. Like the Benjamin Brandons and the Peter McKinnons of the world aren't going to be here forever, nor are we going to probably do online creation forever. Something's going to change at some point, but you guys coming in and making films any way you can, that's amazing. I kudos to that.
Yeah. And it actually, can I tell you the worst part of my film festival?
What's that?
The whole thing got scheduled during a time, so I actually can't view the film festival live while it's happening. I can't be there live while it's happening, which is a mistake, because I'm the host of it, but I but I can't be there while it happens.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the whole thing has to be pre-recorded because I can't announce the winners live. I can't do that. So
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
it's gonna be a crazy thing, but you know what? It's gonna work.
Yeah, it will.
It's gonna be it happens in July, and July is when I'm shooting my next short film.
Okay.
I'll just say the short film is actually it's called AI, and it's about a kid version of Tony Stark from Marvel. You know Tony Stark.
Oh God. Oh yeah. I'm a huge Avenger.
He's smarter than Tony Stark, and he's younger than Tony Stark. So the kid,
Ooh.
and it's just a whole crazy thing. And we're actually shooting it. Have you heard of Scripps College?
I have.
We're shooting it there.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool.
There's a summer camp there, and the summer camp has lots of free time, and they have theater programs. So we're just shooting there, and we're gonna be able to use some of the theater kids, and it's just gonna be an amazing thing.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that. That's super cool.
I'm ready for it. But yeah. So thanks for coming here today. Well, virtually, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. It was fun. I appreciate all the support, and it's awesome to meet a cool young friend who's blazing through the next generation of filmmaking.
Thanks. So yeah. So this episode of The Harley J Way is an amazing episode. We got to have Benjamin Brandon here, and so yeah, make sure to subscribe to the podcast, and yeah, see you next week where we have a surprise for you next week. But I can't tell you that about it. Peace out.